My dear students of grade 9, I welcome you all to my English class once again, students. It's RK English YouTube channel. Today, students, we are at unit number 12, that is people and places here, and we are going to discuss its reading fast text in today's class. Before that, students, we have some pictures given here. There are some picture of places and some picture of people here, and let's discuss about these picture first. And a number is here. Where are these places? How would you get there? And discuss. Students, these are there are some pictures here given, pictures of places, and students, do you recognize and do you guess what are these picture all about? And the first one we can see here, students, it's a picture, and it's a mountain here. It's a Cabre, Cabre. It's in Mustang, and this place is in Mustang. And how can we get there? For students, so we have to go Pokhara, and we can, get there from Pokhara by bus, and sometime we can go by small cabs and mini micro taxis from there. Second one picture, students, we can see here. It's a picture of Phoksundo. It's a lake. It's students, where we can get here from Kathmandu. Yes, there we can go by flight, or either we can you can have from there a cab and bus also. In the third picture, we can see, students, it's a picture, a beautiful picture. There is snow all around. It's a temple in Taplejung, and we can get there from Biratnagar. Students, it's all about your pictures of places, and now next one is we have some people, picture of people here given. And the first picture, students, you can see here, it's a picture of Bhaktaraj Acharya, students, and he was a famous a singer and writer of Nepal, and he has written so many music and so many songs, okay, for the Nepali music industry. And the second one is we can see a couple, a sports couple, students. Obviously, they are showing medal here, and it means they belong to sports category. And their name, Deepika Bista and Ayusha Sakia. Okay, they are the couple here. In the third picture, we can see a lady holding a book, and it's a book, students, and she's a social worker, and her name is Pushpa Basnet. Students, it's all about your pictures, and that we have discussed here. Now move to its text, student. The student, here we have reading one. Before reading one, three questions are here. First one is, how much do you love reading? What is the name of the last book you read? You read, students, here. I think you all should love reading book apart from your study, apart from your school books, and you must read all other books, students. And what is the name of the last book? Yes, students, you have to tell what was that last book that you read, okay? And B number is that, who is your favorite writer? Say something interesting about him or her. Second question, students, if I have to say who is my favorite writer, I must say my favorite writer is William Shakespeare, okay, English writer. And he has written so many books, students. The book, he wrote, and I like the most is The Tempest, okay. The Tempest is the name of the book, and that like I most. Students, and it's all about your precautions, students. Now move to the its text. Now here we have the text, Paulo Coelho, okay. Paulo Coelho is the name of the text, students, so that we are going to discuss. And it's a story, it's a biography or story about English writer, that is Paulo Coelho. Here we start the text, students. Paulo Coelho is a well-known Brazilian author and lyricist. Okay, he was born on 24th August 1947 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And students, Paulo Coelho, he is a well-known and most famous and most popular Brazilian author and music composer. He was born, students, where he was born in Rio de Janeiro is a place in Brazil, okay, on 24 August 1947, when he was born. He had always loved writing and dreamed of being a writer from an early age. Since his childhood, students that Paulo Coelho wanted to become a writer. Okay, he used to dreaming of becoming a writer. He was, however, discouraged. Here is the word, students, in highlighted word. Okay, all these are the meaning of these highlighted words in red color. I have written all the meaning of these words. You can write from here, students. He was, however, discouraged by his parents who wanted him to become a lawyer. He was, students, always discouraged or demoralized by his parents because they thought that lawyer is that kind of profession, very admirable profession. They thought his parents thought that this profession is very admirable, and so that he discouraged him to become a writer. Okay, they didn't want him to be a writer, rather they wanted him to be a lawyer. That's why they used to discourage him. During adolescence, Coelho was sent 3 times to a mental hospital by his parents because of his dream to become a writer. What happened, students? During his teenage year, he was sent many times to a mental hospital, okay, by his parents because they thought that he was going to be a writer, and that their parents didn't want to him becoming a writer. That's why they sent him to a mental hospital. In his 20s, he was arrested and tortured, means students, ill-treated in Brazil, but always kept dreaming of becoming a writer. In his 20s, students, when he was about 20 years old, and he was arrested and sent to the jail in Brazil, and he was treated, not treated very well, and but in spite of all these, students, though he wanted to be a good, he wanted to become a writer. In spite of having all these, ill treat, and he was sent many times to jail. Okay, even then he didn't give up his dream of becoming a writer. After his release from prison, Coelho enrolled in a law school and abandoned his dreaming of becoming a writer. Now, students, after his release, when he was released from the jail, and then he enrolled in a law school. Okay, then what happened, students, when he was released from that, after his release from the jail, he was admitted in a law school and abandoned his dream of becoming a writer, and he gave up his dream of becoming writer because he was forcefully admitted to that law school, okay, to become a lawyer. And then he thought that he had to be, give up his dream of becoming a writer. 1 year later, he dropped out and lived life as a hippie. What happens, students, while studying, during his study in college, law college, after 1 year, okay, after 1 year later, he left the college, and then he started to live as a hippie. Is a word, students, it is a life, when someone doesn't care himself and someone doesn't care of, care anyone, and this is a hippie life. And then he started to live a life like a hippie, traveling through South America, North America, Mexico, and Europe, and started during using drugs in the 1960s. Now, student, he started living a life, okay, hippie life, and he started traveling from through South America to Europe, and then later on he started becoming drugs addicted. Okay, then he started taking drugs in 1960s. This is students was a very tragic moment for life that Coelho Paolo, so Paulo Coelho, and during that time, and he became drug addictor later. Third paragraph, students, he changed his life radically at the age of 36 after a pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, where he experienced a spiritual awakening and felt inspired to write a book. Students, what happened? There came a drastic change in his life when he was 36 years old. And what was that change, students? When he had a religious journey. Radically means an extreme way. Pilgrimage means devotees. When he had a religious journey to Santiago de Compostela in Spain, where he got he came to know about that he was going in wrong direction. And what was that wrong direction, students? That he had become addicted of drugs, and that was the wrong way for him, and that he wake up awaking means arousing. It's then he came to know about him real life, and that he was not going in the right direction, and there he got inspired, okay, to write the book. And after that he wrote the first book, that is the pilgrimage. 1987 was the first book that he wrote, and felt inspired to write. Okay, only 1 year later, he wrote The Alchemist in the course of a 2 week spurt of creativity. Then, students, okay, only 1 year later, okay, after 1 year, he wrote another book, that is Alchemist in course of 2 week spurt of creativity. Okay, in a 2 week, he wrote that book, that is Alchemist. The Alchemist was Paulo Coelho's breakthrough as an international author. This was the book, students, who gave the breakthrough, to Paulo Coelho to become an international writer. It was a turning point for the author, okay, to be a international author when he wrote that Alchemist book. The allegorically novel is about a shepherd boy who follows a mystical track in which he learns to speak the language of the world and thus receive his heart desire. Students, this book was a symbolic, okay, it's a novel, and it's a novel, and this book is all about a shepherd boy who used to follow a spiritual track in which he learned to speak the language of the world and thus receives his heart desire. uh, this was the book, students. Alchemist is the book. That book was the breakthrough for the writer, and that book made him, okay, well famous all around the world. Okay, then he became a international author. The book attracted little attention at first, until a French language translation suddenly leaped onto the bestseller list in France in early 90s 19 students. Earlier, students, it had a little impact, okay, but it wasn't that much popular earlier. But later, when this Alchemist book is translated into French language in 19s, okay, 90s, it became a popular. After the translation of what? In French language, this book got name and fame. New translation followed, and soon the Alchemist became a worldwide phenomenon. Means, students, its occurrence. The book has sold by Coelho's count roughly 35 million copies, and is now the most translated book in the world by an living author. Then, students, when it was translated in French languages, then it became most popular worldwide, and more than 35 billions of copies had been sold. And now it's the most translated book in the world by any living author. Now it became the most popular, okay, translated book in the world. Since then, he has published book at a rate of about 1 year, or one every 2 year. Since then, students, he didn't stop writing and publishing book, and every 2 year he used to write one book in every 2 years. In 2013, approximately 150 million copies of his books were published in at least 71 languages. In 2013, around 150 million copy of his written book were published in at least in more than 75 languages, okay, in 2013. Several of his books are autobiographic in nature and deal with spirituality and faith and the social impact on individuals and love. Students, most of his books were about biography, nature, okay, and deal with the spirituality and the faith and social impact on individual and love. His 26 books have sold more than 65 million copies in at least 59 languages. His 26 book students that have sold more than 65 million copies in at least 59 languages. So it was a great achievement for Paulo Coelho, and now he had become an international author, and now he had got name and fame, okay, because of that alchemist most popular book all around the world, okay, in different languages. Besides Alchemist, his other notable work include Veronica Decided to Die in 1998, okay, which means the perceived is the become aware mental instability of his youth. Students, okay, apart from this book Alchemist, then he started writing another book, okay. First one is that is Veronica, it's Decides to Die in 1988, sorry, 1998 he wrote this book, and which means what, becoming aware and mental and lack of stability, okay, of his youth. And he has written this book, and then after he also, then another book came, The Devil and Miss, okay, Prime, is in 2000. Then an investigation is the inquiry of essential nature of humankind and 11 minutes. Then another was in 2003, it was 11 minutes, which explore the boundaries between love and sex through the story of prostitute. Students, it was the book all about love and sex, okay, through the story of prostitute, mean student, sex worker, okay. Now, Witch of Portobello, 2006. Now, in 2006, there came another book that was the Witch of Portobello. And this book tells the story of a female religious leader in the form of interviews with those who knew Car. Uh, this book, students, that came in 2008 and 2006, it was the book that tells a story of a religious woman, okay, leader in the form of interviews with those who knew her. Then, student, the winner stands alone, 2008. Then another book was written by him, that was the winner stands alone, 2008. It is a book, okay, it is a novel or a play, okay, set against the canons, okay, can films festival. And then, students, 2000, in 2010 there came one book also. It's a Alif, okay, it was the book Alif, name was, it's a ostensibly, it's a seemingly the true tale of the Coelho's 2006 journey on the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Okay, now this book was all about, okay, Coelho. It's a tale, okay, it's a tale of Coelho's journey in 2006. In this book, he has written about his own journey, and then it was a book, but the embroidered the experience with the supposed encounter with a reincarnated lover from another lifetime. Students, here is the word embroidered, means it's a design, okay, to make design on a cloth with thread, but here is a meaning here, it has different meaning. It's a to make design, okay, the experience, the with the supposed encounter with a reincarnated, means is a rebirth lover from another lifetime. Then in 2012, it was manuscript, okay, found it in Accra in 2012, as the book concerned with experience of Greek wise men in Jerusalem prior to its invasion. By invasion means, students, attack by crusaders. So this was the book all about what, experience of Greek wise men in Jerusalem prior to its attack by crusaders. Now in 2014, it was adultery, okay, and chronicles is a history, a successful journalist, extramarital affair, and okay. So this book, Adultery, in 2014 came, and which was written and it was a successful journalist. It was a book about a successful journalist, but he had extra affair than marriage. This is the book all about successful journalist. And hippie is the in 2018. Okay, now a book was written again. It was hippie, and in 2018 was inspired by Coelho travels in 1917s. His other work include okay, Francis in 1996, a collection of short excerpts from his Oyo and Life selected quotation 2007. Now here, students, he has written so many books, okay, during his writing career, and so many were most popular and most famous books all around the world. Now Coelho has compiled selection from his weekly column in the newspaper O Globo into a volume title marked up, which means it is written. Then students, so he had started to writing in newspaper column, that is O Globo into, okay, and he had marked a title, that means it is written. Coelho is now the world's most widely read author with several international awards under his belt. Now, students, Coelho, he is the world most popular and widely known author all around the world, and he had got so many international award and okay, in his under his belt. He has received several prestigious awards, including Crystal Award given by the World Economic Forum for him. Students, he has also received so many reputable awards. There, it includes also, which is Crystal Award, which is given by World Economic Forum. And Francis, it's a name, Francis, Legion, D. Onryo, and many more. Here are so many awards, like named Francis, Legion, D. Onryo, and many more are many award. There are so many awards that had been given to the author. His fans call his book inspiring and life changing. Students, his lover and his fan also calls his book very motivative and life changing. His critics says that his books merely promotes vague spirituality devoid of rigor. Here is the word devoid, students, is to be without something. Some of the critics are their students who criticize his books, that this is it's be without something, and there is nothing like this. And some of the critics criticize his book also. A confident writer who reject the self-help label. I am not a self-help writer, I am a self-problem writer. Coelho dismisses his naysayers critics. As students, Coelho, he rejected and he dismisses all the criticism, because he says that he did not don't write, okay, he write he he is not a self-help writer, okay. He reject all the self-help label, and he don't care what about others. I am a self-problem writer. And Coelho, he also rejected and dismisses all the criticism about his writing. When I I write a book for myself. The reaction is up to the readers. He says it's not my business whether people like or dislike it. Okay, he says that when I have to write a book, I write then, okay, for myself, and it's up to the creator. The reaction is up to the reader. He says it's not my business whether people like or dislike. Coelho has been now. Coelho had been married to his wife, the artist Christina Oiticica. Okay, Oiticica. And then students, Coelho got married. With the artist, she was an artist, Christina Oitica, in since 1918. Together, the couple spent half the year in Rio de Janeiro, and on the other half in a country house in the Pyrenees mountain of France. After he got married, students, half of the year he spent where? Rio de Janeiro, okay, and later rest of the time he spent in his house in it's a Pyrenees mountain of France. In 1960, Coelho founded that Paulo Coelho Institution. Okay, in 1996, he started an institute named Paulo Coelho, which provides support to children and the elderly. Finally, students, in 1996, Paulo Coelho he started an institute named Paulo Coelho Institute, and this institute start helping the children and the older age people. It's all about students. Paulo Coelho text we have discussed in this lesson and today's class students. It's all about his. He is a famous, well-known, worldwide English writer, and so many books he has written, and most of the books are most very popular all around the world. And one of them was Alchemist, which has got name and fame, and it was a breakthrough for the author to it made him a international author. Students, it's all about today's lesson and today's text. Students, we will discuss its exercise, grammar, speaking, writing, all in the next video. Students, with that I'm going to end this today's lesson. I'll be back very soon with the next one. Till then, students, keep watching my videos. See you in the next one. Have a good day, my dear student.